Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home.
Hello and welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show. Thanks so much for joining me here today. I really appreciate it. Now, I've been engrossed in a very interesting and hard project. So I'm going to tell you about what I've learned from this experience because something good's got to come from all my toil and trouble. But what I've been doing, which is the good side of what I've been doing, is I have been creating my new program called 7 Simple Steps to End Emotional Eating Now. And this is a companion to the book, Heal Your Hunger, 7 Simple Steps to End Emotional Eating Now. And this is an awesome program. I love what I've put in it and all the useful information and how I'm walking you by the hand to really create an entire lifestyle that supports ending emotional eating. So it's fun, it's informative, it's really getting down and dirty into what it really takes to end emotional eating now, totally on my experience personally and working with people over the past 30 years to end their emotional eating. So it's really awesome and it's really shaping up nicely. The downside is that I have had to come face to face with some really dark parts of myself to get this created. And what I mean by that is that I've had to deal with technology. And it's not just technology, but it's my fear of technology and my resistance to really digging in and learning about it. Normally, I cry help and I try to get help from other people, but, I'm working on this project and there's so many different aspects that depend on technology, like creating a PowerPoint or, recording, which I do regularly. That part I've got, but also editing and because there's many videos and there's really a lot of things I need to do, which I don't have the skills for. I probably should, but I have not really gotten in and learned these things. I know just enough to be dangerous. I know just enough to get me into trouble, but not enough to do the job right. So I've had to learn things. And, when I started this Heal Your Hunger venture last year and really started planning for the podcast and what was to come after the book and the course and, all the different things I'm excited to bring to you to help you end emotional eating. When I started this, I really had a hunger and thirst to really learn. I was doing this partially because I wanted to exercise my own brain. And I had been doing art for a year and, I just felt like I wasn't really thinking hard enough. It was fun. It was, I had to think in doing art, but I didn't feel like I was really crunching my brain. And for some godforsaken reason, I felt like I needed to do that. I'm getting older and I want to make sure my brain is sharp and I remain youthful for many years. So I thought, I need some projects that can really challenge me. Well, guess what? We always get what we ask for, don't we? And I have been challenged up to my ears with technology, and there's no way for me to escape it unless I want to pay somebody to come to my house and take over and do everything I don't want to do, which if it's technological, I pretty much don't want to do it. I want somebody else to do it. But, I can't afford to do that. I just don't have that luxury. And so I need to figure some things out. But I will say that I do avoid it. It reminds me of math growing up. It's so crazy. I was really good at, actually better at math than I was in verbal skills, which, I'm pretty good in verbal skills and I like it. But math, I was actually aptitude-wise stronger and tested better. But I'll tell you, I hated it. I hated doing those math problems, and I'd be at home and I'd be working on a word problem. Oh, those were so hard for me. And I'd be struggling and I'd cry sometimes because I felt so frustrated and I couldn't get it. And, with math, you can't really fudge it. It's either right or it's not. And so I would try my best, but I would get so frustrated and I'd get angry. Sometimes I'm sure I had temper tantrums or threw my book or, whatever it is, but it was so frustrating to me. Anyway, it was not a fun experience for me. And I find myself in that same place now, having to face technology, because you can't fudge it with technology either. You either get it right or you don't. You either get it right and you get results, or it looks like crap, you know? So this is what I've been doing. And it's truthfully really good for me because I'm getting that challenge that I was praying for. I didn't know it was going to come in this way, but what I've had to do is look up, and learn things on YouTube. I mean, thank God we live in this day and age when you can learn anything on YouTube, and all the people who create these videos that show you how to do stuff, all these kids, these young guys, some girls as well, but I'm scanning YouTube trying to find the right video to show me what I need to do. And so I learn, what I hate to do more than anything is, read the directions. I find that a lot of addicts are that way. We don't want to read the directions. We want to just wing it and have it work out. Well, that's certainly my personality. And this is a time and a place where I can't do that. So I've had to learn. So the reason why I'm sharing all this is because during this time, I have had those impulses to eat. Okay. So when I'm really frustrated, my mind goes to, go to the kitchen and just munch on something. And it's really, it's a problem because that's the last thing I want to do when I'm creating a Heal Your Hunger program. I cannot run from my feelings when I'm teaching people to not run from their feelings. But it's a natural instinct, I think, for emotional eaters to have when we're frustrated and we have that logjam of feelings, is to boom, placate it with some food. Now, I didn't do that by the grace of God, thank you. But I did notice it. I did notice that at times I'd be like, I want to eat something. Is it lunchtime yet? Is it time for lunch? Can I get away with eating now? No, it's like 10:30 in the morning. You have to wait at least 11:30 for my proper lunchtime. So anyway, you may experience this where you're going through something that's hard and you want to eat. I mean, obviously that's emotional eating. That's what we do best. And what I find is that feeling of frustration is really just a lot of uncomfortable feelings. And the reason why my mind, automatically diverts to food and what can I do to, what can I do to get rid of these feelings, is because that's been my MO in the past, is when I'm super uncomfortable, anesthetize. And so I didn't do that. And I want to share with you what I did instead, because it's super helpful. It helped me get through, but hopefully it help you as well. And the point is, they're just feelings, okay? So when I stopped and thought, no, I'm not going to eat. It's not lunchtime. It's not, I have no excuse for eating here. What I did is I realized, okay, Tricia, you're just feeling uncomfortable. Like, this is very uncomfortable. Learning something new and not being able to wing it or get it or master it right off the bat is uncomfortable. It hurts my pride. Like, I just want to be great at everything right now. It makes me feel angry. It makes me feel afraid. I'm afraid I'm not going to get it. I'm never going to be able to learn this. I'm always going to have a hard time. It's not going to work out. All those crazy, fearful thoughts that we get when we're up against something hard. So this was a time for me to say, okay, Trish, let's take a step back. These are just feelings. They do pass. You're not going to feel this way forever. And there's a way through it. So that's really what I need to do, is I need to really, commit, first of all, to not eating over my feelings. The fact is I have a commitment to, be free from emotional eating. And I need to be, because that's what I do. It would really suck if I had to, really eat my way through things while I'm trying to teach other people not to. Again, I'm not perfect, but it's really important to me that I walk my talk. So what I need to do, first of all, is have a commitment to not eat, because you're going to come up against this over and over again, where you want to eat, over some feeling. So you're at a fork in the road, and you have to decide, am I going to give in or am I going to go through? Okay, run or move forward and through. And we have that, we're at that fork many times when we're uncomfortable. So the important thing to, do is really check with your heart and decide how important is it to you that you work through this instead of continuing to bury these feelings with food. Because once you choose the food route, it never ends, right? You have to keep choosing the food route to keep those feelings down. So at some point, you need to make a decision and a commitment to go through no matter what. And they're just feelings after all. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about really anything harder than just feelings. Everything boils down to feelings that we don't want to feel, but we give a choice, okay? The next thing is to acknowledge those feelings, okay? Make a commitment that you want to go through and then acknowledge the feelings. So what I had to do is I had to say, okay, look, this is super uncomfortable. And I talked about it too. I told my husband about it. I told my friends, if somebody asked me how I'm doing, I would be very honest. I'm challenged right now and I'm up against something that's really hard for me. Technology and figuring stuff out is hard for me. And I'm very uncomfortable and highly agitated. So for the past week, that's what they've been hearing. And I'm not whining or complaining. I'm just stating a fact. I'm agitated. This is hard and I'm uncomfortable and I'm in the hole and I'm trying to get out, but it's dark in there. So I have to acknowledge the feelings. Super, super important. I also prayed. You've heard me say this time and time again. Prayer helps so much, and you don't have to even know who you're praying to, okay? But I had to acknowledge any of these feelings and that I couldn't get rid of them myself, and I didn't want to eat them away. So I literally would say, God, this is really hard for me. Please help me. Sometimes I even got on my knees and said, God, please take this and figure it out for me because I can't do it. And I'm telling you, that changes everything, like immediately. It's amazing. What I also did is I took time out. When I got super frustrated, instead of bowling through, instead of pushing, I had to step back. And I had to go for a walk. I had to go out and spend some time in nature or spend some time with friends or watch a movie or a TV show with my husband. Just take a time out. And then I came back with it. I had to change my state. If you just keep barreling through and pushing, you don't give God a chance once you've prayed. Pray and then take a break. Let God figure it out, but what's being figured out is that you're changing your perspective. And then that's lightening the load, lightening your whole attitude, and then God can work through you. Super important. We got to give it the light touch. And then the last thing is to just re-engage. After you've changed your state, come back to it with fresh new eyes. So these are 5 steps I've just given you. Okay, the first one is make a commitment that you don't want to eat over your feelings. The second thing is to acknowledge your feelings. The third thing is to pray. Okay, just give it to a higher power. The fourth thing is to change your state by doing something different, pulling back. And the fifth thing is to re-engage with a fresh new perspective. Maybe that's taking a nap or meditating. A lot of times I would just go meditate just to chill out, just to get centered again. Super important. So these are the things I did. Helped me so much. I'm not totally out of the woods yet, but I'm working on it. And if you want to join me for this awesome program, 7 Simple Steps to End Emotional Eating Now, please do. You can go to the show notes and get the link for it. If you're listening, it's healyourhunger.com/7, and that's the word spelled out 7. So it's healyourhunger.com/7. And we have, we're starting imminently. So come join us and grab the bonuses while they're available. And let's do this. It'll be really fun. So just go to healyourhunger.com/7 and grab the bonuses. Let's get started with this. And, the good news is I'm getting through it and without overeating. Praise God for that. And you can too. So let's do this. Thanks so much.
If you enjoyed this show and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.